Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Jo from the Volunteer Times, and we've got a real treat for you today. I'm here with Chef, they call him Chef Danny. It's
Yes.
Danny Wilhoit here, a native Campbell Countian. Danny, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on here in your new business called My Chef Friend?
Yes, My Chef Friend is an endeavor to bring chef experiences, restaurant experiences into the home. Utilizing the pots, the pans, the ingredients that are normally in your house. I bring my expertise, my skills, my education, and my experience into your home to deliver elevated meals, as well as cooking classes.
Great. Now, you were one of the chefs at Bistro by the Tracks in Knoxville, correct?
Yes, for about 6 years I was the executive chef.
Okay, I'm telling you, and for you, those of you watching, if you've never ate there, it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, it was incredible, incredible cuisine. So, tell us a little bit though about your education and everything in food a little bit, just so people know that you really know what you're talking about.
Yes, I went to Johnson & Wales University in Charlotte, North Carolina. Johnson & Wales is one of the largest culinary programs in the nation, also one of the only accredited programs. So when you come out, you don't just have certificates, you also have degrees. I'm an associate's in culinary arts, a bachelor's in food service management, and my minor is in beverage management.
Wonderful. So we can't go wrong. We're going to have a field day with this. And you're going to make some awesome food for us today. So what are we going to start with?
Yes, I have a ribeye that I'm going to pan sear in a cast iron pan. I'm going to baste it with some rosemary garlic butter, and I'm going to do some roasted baby squash and zucchini.
Awesome. Okay. So if I invited you into my home, you would just come in and you would I purchase the groceries, right? And you make them?
Not at all. I'll do the purchasing. We'll, through my website, we'll set up a pre-selected menu items, or we can do a custom menu for dietary restrictions or just personal preferences. And the day of your event, I will do the shopping. I will come to your house early. I will get to know your kitchen, yourself, your setup, and then I will prep everything, execute dinner, clean up as well. I do custom printed menus for each individual event. And that's sort of the process.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So if you're having a small gathering or even a larger gathering, you can literally have this done by an amazing chef.
Yes, sort of my plan is to allow you to enjoy yourself and be a host rather than having to work when you're hosting events, or to allow you to actually celebrate special occasions when you're trying to celebrate with family or friends. Searing is a process used to develop caramelization, or in the case of proteins, Maillard reaction is the technical term, and it is used to sort of lock in juices, keep things moist on the inside and allow them to be crispy on the outside. High heat is critical when searing. You want to hear the beautiful little sound, the sizzling. That's the most important part. You know you're going to get good color, good texture. It's going to be nice and crispy when it comes out. And with the vegetables, what we're going to do, since they're a little bit larger, kind of hearty, we're going to go into the oven after we get a nice crispy, dark outside, and allow them to tenderize in the oven, and then we'll move on to the steak from there. When you sear, when you cook in a pan, partlets of the food, it sort of sticks to the pan. That's called fond. That is great. That's flavor. It's pieces that are just sticking to the pan, and while it's cooking, they're continuing to develop flavor. They're sort of roasting, getting a little darker, a little nuttier, a little roasty, a little more flavor. So to take all of those things off the pan, you want to use some sort of an acid generally. White wine, red wine, lemon juice. This is a champagne vinegar. It's an aged white wine vinegar. It's a Chardonnay specifically. And that's just going to pull all the fond off of the pan. Once that reduces down a little bit, we're cooking the water out, it's going to get thick, the sugars are going to develop, and add a little bit of chicken stock into it. That's just going to bring a more robust flavor to it. Then I'm going to mound with butter, because butter makes everything better. So using cold butter inside of a hot liquid and moving it constantly, the French term is monter beurre, or to mound with butter. And you can sort of see how that's thickening up that liquid there. That's it's going to glaze it, it's going to coat it, it's going to make it rich, and yeah, delicious. In searing, you want to keep the pan and the oil nice and hot. So as the steak or whatever you're searing sits in one spot, it will sort of bring the temperature of that pan down. So right now I'm just sort of moving it around so it gets nice even exposure to the hot areas, and it's able to develop a nice even sear on the outside. Yeah, so I started with olive oil for the searing. It is a leaner fat. There's also not what would be milk fats inside of it. So if you use butter and you're getting the pan this hot, that would start to brown, it would start to burn, and it would give your steak sort of a burned taste. It would sort of taste gassy because it got so hot. So you want to sear with olive oil. Now that I've flipped it over and I've developed a nice sear on one side, I'm actually going to add some butter, and I'm going to let that brown so it develops sort of a nutty flavor, a little rosemary and some crushed garlic, and I'm going to use that herb garlic butter to sort of baste over the steak. That's going to reincorporate those flavors back into the steak, and also continue to cook it as well from both the top and the bottom. In general, for rest time, I would say give it probably 3 minutes for every inch of thickness. The reason is protein molecules are essentially like a spring. It's a coil, and as it gets hotter, the coil straightens out, it unwinds, and the water that's inside of it, which is where you get the juiciness, the moisture of your steak, it's able to release. So when you have really high heat, it sort of unwinds really quick, but then once you let it rest and it cools, those coils start to tighten back up, and it will hold the moisture, it will hold the juices inside of those protein molecules. So when you cut a steak too early and you see the juices run all over the plate, that's because it wasn't rested.
All right, guys, we're back, and you watched Chef Danny as he was preparing this awesome meal for you guys tonight. Maybe you all can try to mimic this. I know I'm getting hungry just looking at it, smelling it. Oh my gosh, it's just about to drive me crazy. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Yeah, just slicing it so that we can all, get a bite of it. You can sort of see what's going on the inside there, and sort of make a nice little presentation of it.
How long did you let the steak rest before you started cutting it?
It was about 3 minutes, just to let those juices come back together.
Okay. Now, Danny, we had talked earlier while you're kind of preparing this plate that you can come, of course, to anyone that has a kitchen. And that includes like some of the local venues that are in the area, like some of the wedding barns and things like that, right? You could come and you could actually, or even for bridal showers, I mean, it's limitless really what you could come and do for a small gathering or even a large one, as long as there's a kitchen, right?
Completely. I'm more than capable and happy to cater to anyone's needs.
What if I had 100 people come in?
Yeah, no big deal. I have people sort of on call that are ready to do jobs to help out. I personally am not that good, not that great. 100 people's a bit much.
I doubt that, if you can smell this steak right now.
But yeah, definitely having some other people to help out, not a problem at all. I'd be more than happy.
So you can do large events as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's basically based on what they want to purchase. If they want chicken, or if they want steak, or if they want shrimp, or some kind of seafood, something of that nature, correct? Is that how you kind of price it out individually based on the job?
Most definitely. On my website, I don't really have portals and links for reserving catering events. That's something I'd like to arrange in person or on the phone. That way we can talk about budgets, we can talk about dietary restrictions, what they're looking for, and the pricing would just be affected by really what the event is and the number of people.
Okay, great. And you also have the ability to rent like a mobile food truck, right?
Yes. So if you're out in the middle of a field or your location doesn't have a kitchen, that is a possibility. It's a fully functioning mobile kitchen that I can do, I would say, up to 150 maybe out of.
That is wonderful. There's so many events that we have that people are just looking for something that's a little bit outside of the box. And for a professional chef, to be able to come and do this, I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, everybody got a little bit of the sampling of the steak. I'm actually going to go ahead and I just think if I get one bite, I'm going to have to wind up eating the whole thing because I've been smelling it all along, but I'm going to actually get a little piece of this too.
Thank you.
Call Chef Danny. That's all I'm going to say. This is amazing. And not only is this amazing, there's a quick story. You all have got to hear this story. He was telling me this earlier. This knife is insane. And I'm going to let him tell you a little bit of the story about this knife while I'm enjoying this ribeye steak, which is amazing.
Yeah, so this is a vegetable cleaver knife. It's Damascus steel. It has a rosewood and a cherry wood handle. It's made by a Japanese blacksmith named Shinji Fujishita. When I got it, was 84 or 86 years old. At a certain point in his life, he became so skilled, so respected in his craft that he stopped making multiples of the same knife. So this is the only knife in the world of this kind, at least this specific go-round. He hand forges everything, and a cool little tidbit that I like to share is he has arthritis so bad that he developed these metal clamps that he wraps around his arms, and he uses to allow him to not have to fully hold the metal. So he'll hold these metal clamps and it extends out, and that's how he holds the blades while he's heating, while he's hammering, and they're all completely different. They have a story to tell. As they age, as they get used, they develop patina. They change. They look different.
Well, it's even got like the Japanese, I guess he's put his signature marks on these as he's forged it. You can see the hammering on it. It's so unique. It's just amazing. And I thought that was just incredible. Just one of those little trademarks of the art that you are so good at.
Definitely.
So
it's my baby.
Oh my goodness. Listen, this has been a phenomenal meal, and this probably didn't take, really, had we not been talking with you so much, probably 15 minutes. So, I mean, he's got this down to a science. He knows what he's doing. If we just backed up and got out of his way, it would have probably been less time than that. But this is amazing food, and we have the opportunity to have it right here in Campbell County. So we are going to actually, in the thread below, once this video posts, we're going to put some of the photographs up from some of his food, some of his art. We're also going to list his website down below in the comments section. So be sure and kind of scroll down through some of that so you can see it, and just jump onto his website and see what all is offered. And I'm going to bring one more person in because this is going to really tie it all together. Many of you all might already know Danny, but in case you didn't know Danny's family, those of us in Campbell County, we always want to know who the roots are. And everybody remembers Joy Beth. Joy Beth, come on up here. We're going to get Joy Beth into the shot. This is Joy Beth's son, of course, Danny, and she was probably the originator of wanting to make him so awesome in the kitchen, because Joy Beth, in her own right, Joy Beth Wilhoit is an amazing
Chapman.
Chapman. Oh, I apologize. Yeah, Joy Beth Chapman is an amazing cook, and she makes a peanut butter pie that you could die for. And I believe you brought some of it back too.
I did, yes.
And we might even get a little shot of that peanut butter pie. Joy Beth may even share her awesome recipe, or she may never share that recipe.
It's easy.
I think we can get it typed and put into the comments or on our page or something.
Oh yeah, but everybody talks about her peanut butter pie, and I guess 15 years ago, I remember I got my first shot at it. It was amazing. So Joy, tell us a little bit about how it was. When did you notice that he first wanted to start cooking? When was cooking his thing?
He started when he was 3.
3 years old?
My children did everything I did.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted to start cooking when he was 3. And he was a huge breakfast person at the time. And I would be cooking his eggs, and he would say, "Mom, that's not right. Mom, that's not right." It's like, well, okay, then big boy, you get over and do it yourself. So he did. So from that point, he started cooking his own.
Wow.
He wanted to cook a different way. Mm-hmm. And so over the years, he's just learned his own thing. Then we did a little catering there on the side with Wilma, and my mom was an exceptional cook anyway. Most of my family is.
So it's in your blood.
Yeah,
yes,
completely.
Yes, and when he was in junior high, he came up there, and I had done something, and he said, "Mom, God wants me to be a chef." So he's not only done that, he put everything into it. He started studying, he started seeing where the best teachers were, he started seeing where the best schools were, he started learning everything he could learn. From that point, I knew he was going to be a chef. Yes. So we started asking everything we could ask, and he did everything he could do, see what he could do. This is what we came up with perfection.
Absolutely. Well, it's been years really since I've got to see you and reconnect since you've moved, but I cannot tell you how impressed I am with you, and just everything that you've been able to do. And I think that the idea and the concept is absolutely amazing. So I really want to encourage you Volunteer Times readers out there, check this out. This is something that's really unique. So if you've got that one-of-a-kind dinner, or if you've got that special event or occasion that's coming up, give Danny a call. This is something that's really going to set you apart from other events and make you look like you're just a little bit ahead of maybe some of those other venues. So you go ahead and do that and give him a shot. And of course, hometown people here, we always want to support that, and be sure and share, like and share the video, because maybe someone in Knoxville can also use the service. By all means, this is being shot here in Campbell County, but any surrounding county, capitalism is capitalism, and you're happy to go wherever the work is. So we want to make sure that they offer that to a very broad audience. So guys, thank you so much. Danny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For
I
letting us come
appreciate
and
it,
do
Kelly
this,
Jo.
and thank you, Joy Beth, for
you
being
very
a part of
much.
this and let me drag you in.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.